you see me ignoring you, if ever you see me shying away from social appearances, if ever you see me deviating from what is my baseline, whatever that baseline is, check in with me. Even if I don't want to let go of what I am doing, force me to take a break, take me for a meal out, and then talk to me.
But Harleen, I do feel like that still puts the onus on the individual to some degree, right? And I think earlier what Sonal was also touching on, companies, how can they internally define? Because we're told that there are industries, media for example, where long hours are the expectation. But don't companies need to define where that long hour demand enters into the toxic region, and how can they do that internally?
How does an organization convert this into a way that is scalable? Have metrics in place, have tests in place, have your own grading system that is able to assess the emotional health of the leaders there as well as the employees there. And try and see if we can make this as transparent as possible. It is very easy to say and very difficult to do, but I know for a fact, because I have implemented it, it is not difficult to implement it. And that is just one of the things that we can do.
All right, Harleen, we leave it there for now. Thank you so much for those tips over there. I believe we have Rajneesh back with us. Mr. Singh, the thing that's most shocking about the story and why it hit such a raw nerve for a lot of people is because this didn't come out of a startup. This did not come out of a workplace which glorified hustle culture. This came out of a big Ford's company. It came out of an established firm where people are eyeing. The minute you start, you think about becoming a CA or becoming something in life, you want to work for the big fours. That's the aspiration. And when it happens there, it really tells you what's going to percolate down in other places as well. But talking about this, how do we tell kids and how do we tell companies? And in fact, let me ask you this. Are companies aware that this is happening? I know of someone who went for an interview very recently, and they asked their potential employer, the question, what is the work-life balance? They never heard back from that employer. Can you give us a reality check on how companies are feeling on work-life balance today?
Very interesting. I mean, these are questions that young candidates do ask these days. They will, first of all, ask how many work days are there in a week to start with. So any day of 5-day work is preferred to strike a balance between work and life. The other thing that they come down to very quickly is, and what is the working hours? So those two important questions definitely are, in a way, defining a potential candidate taking up a job these days. Now, which means that at the employer end, it is becoming very important that you reset your own ways of working and really get aligned with what the candidates are expecting. So you got to recalibrate your culture, your kind of working hours that you have at place. Yes, there will be pressure from clients to deliver on a certain timeline. There will always be that pressure. And like you correctly pointed out, this is not a startup. Startups can be at another extreme altogether, Sonal. So this is a case of an established company for sure. And I was hearing the earlier conversation that for sure there are platforms out there, there are helplines in the company. EY is not a new company. So they would definitely have all this in place. Yet, for a case like this to happen is definitely something that would be definitely many questions being asked internally as to how we are functioning. So yes, it is important to really understand how youngsters are looking at the workplace today. They are willing to put in hard work, but if that becomes like a daily affair, that is where the problem starts. And that is where all three stakeholders at the workplace, which is the leadership, which is the HR and the reporting manager, all have equal roles to ensure that this doesn't become a habit. And the moment it starts becoming habit is where, you start losing the youngsters of today, where they feel, did I study for this? And that's a question that we need to be asking inside the organization when we are onboarding or hiring somebody.
Mr. Singh, can I ask you a trickier question? I spoke to a number of industry experts yesterday who said that we want to retain our competitive edge. And that is why, because a number of organizations, especially the big four, they're doing a lot of back-end work for organizations, their partners that are located overseas. So they believe India's competitive edge is the long hours we can offer. Obviously, stories like this mean that that is unsustainable. But how can that reckoning take place, that realization that this is an unsustainable long-term model, especially as we've just said with a newer generation entering the workplace that has different expectations?
So I'll break that into two parts. One is that if you are, say, for example, we've got a client where the work happens probably for US clients. So very clearly, it's an evening shift. You're aligning with the US time zone and things like that. Very easy to do that because, yes, you are expected upfront, told that, your shift starts at 8 p.m., it will go on till 3, whatever. So it's a call of the candidate to sign up and really join the workplace. But if it is for clients who are in and around India, for example, I think there it is important yet to really draw a line that, yes, beyond this point of time, whether it is 7 p.m., 8 p.m., if it's a normal day shift, those are the lines that need to be strictly followed. It has to be kind of, in a way, imposed from the top that we don't want late sitting to be happening, work happening over the weekend, calls being done late night. I think these are little things we have been hearing of late from other clients of ours, and we have been cautioning the leadership that please don't stretch it beyond. People will fall off. Burnout will happen. And then there is the other side of things where the kids go out, they're socially very active on the different platforms, and they then really get very vocal about the kind of work culture that exists in the companies. So that, it's a wake-up call for the entire, set of people up there in the hierarchy that you got to really realign yourself with the way the candidates or the employees of today want to work. And so that's very important to strike a balance.
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Singh, we'll leave it there for the moment. It's a topic where so much more needs to be said and so much more conversation needs to be had. We hope it's a wake-up call. My worry is that these conversations will remain on social media, will remain with employees, but in big boardroom meetings, this will still not be taken seriously. That's the big worry over here. And we really hope that they sit up and take note. We're looking for leadership at the top level to recognize this and also recognize the new work culture that's building up and the demands of the new workforce as well. All right, on that very, very interesting, if one can really call it that, note, we're going to slip into a break. Coming up in a few moments from now, we'll be talking about the Earth's new companion. It's going to be our temporary mini moon, believe it or not.
NASA has discovered a mini moon. It's headed for Earth's orbit, and we'll be telling you all about it right after the break. Against drug abuse, meet Saneed, the cycle champion of India who pedals for a purpose.
At L'Oréal Group.
But the question is to Congress party, what is their stand? They are not very clear on 370. They are dilly-dallying both the seas. You cannot go do like that. Because if Pakistan is supporting, endorsing your views, there is something seriously wrong with your view. Same way, if Pannu, the terrorist, he supports Congress party leaders' views, then there is something serious with their views. So that question needs to be asked, and there should be.
And that's a question I'll be taking from Ashpreet, but let me quickly go across to Lieutenant General Dua. Sir, thank you so much for so patiently awaiting your turn. Since I was referring to what we've seen happen to that resolution in the year 2000, do you think that such a new promise is only based on a failed legacy, since we've seen what happened to that resolution, and that the priorities of the electorate of Jammu and Kashmir have already changed? They know what the security apparatus was like prior to the abrogation of Article 370. Do you not think that this is also misleading the people of Jammu and Kashmir?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity after all the politics is done. Allow me to start
Sure.
by saying, that unlike the Pakistan Army, Indian Army is totally apolitical. So I will steer clear of any political views. Um, about the security situation.
Rohan, if I could begin with you, first of all, I'm sure the Congress would say that no such promise of, returning to Article 370 has been made in the Congress manifesto. Then why be concerned about what the Pakistan Defence Minister is saying?
See, you cannot just say that it is not there in your manifesto. You are fighting this election in pre-poll alliance. You have seen National Conference manifesto. They are talking about talks with Pakistan, trade with Pakistan, 360, 370. NC's manifesto is very clear. When you are fighting election in pre-poll alliance, that clearly shows what are your views. And these are not my words. These are words of Pakistan Defence Minister, where he clearly endorses views of Congress and NC. So I think the question is that why our opposition, why our enemies are supporting your views. This is the first time in history of Indian politics the opposition party is supported by our enemy, and still they have no answer for that. So I think there are questions which Congress party and NC needs to answer, that why Pakistan is happy with their stance. If your enemy is happy with your stance, it means that stance is wrong. So I think Congress will have to come clean what is their clear-cut agenda for future. Otherwise, people of the country will not leave them.
All right, Ashpreet Khadiyal, let's have it straight from the horse's mouth. What explains the Congress party's silence when all of this chatter is going on? We've heard National Conference's view. It's very much on the manifesto, and you may say that you've not made any such promise, but you're very much in alliance with the NC. So what explains the silence?
Well, the logic that has been given by the Bharatiya Janata Party and the spokesperson here is that a person has supported your statement, therefore you are responsible for that. That is the logic that they've given. First and foremost, if Mr. Modi gives a statement and an ABC or any sort of person with any sort of history, background, character comments upon it, supports the statement of Mr. Modi, would it have anything to do with Mr. Modi? Would Mr. Modi be held responsible for that? Would he be accountable for that? And if you do give this logic and if you're ready to implement it on yourself, I won't give you examples of these kind of people supporting your statements. I'll give you example of Tariq Ahmed Mir, a person who was given ticket by the Bharatiya Janata Party in 2014, who was arrested in 2020 by the NIA because he was procuring weapons for Hizbul Mujahideen commander Naveed Babu. I'll give you an example of Talib Hussain Shah, the BJP's office bearer who was Lashkar-e-Taiba's terrorist, who was captured by the locals. I'll give an example of Dhruv Saxena, 2017 BJP office bearer who was found to have links with the ISI.
All right, I'm going to actually take those examples from Rohan Gupta, but you've still not answered my question. Why not go on record and condemn everything that is being said by Khwaja Asif today?
Well, number one, it has nothing. I mean, the logic that I've given makes it crystal clear as to why we do not have to respond to that. It has nothing to do with us. It has
Welcome back. It's time to take you through stories from India and across the globe.
First, we take you to the United States, where Sean Diddy Combs will be spending time at a prison in Brooklyn, New York. This is after losing his attempt to secure bail following an indictment for sex trafficking and racketeering by federal prosecutors. This is a report on more. Take a look.
Sean Diddy Combs will spend time at this prison in Brooklyn, New York, after losing his attempt to secure bail following an indictment for sex trafficking and racketeering by federal prosecutors. That's according to news reports. Conditions at the Metropolitan Detention Center in 2019 sparked a public outcry after an electrical fire cut power and heat to roughly 1,600 prisoners during one of the coldest weeks that year. The prison has a history of holding high-profile figures including Sam Bankman-Fried and Ghislaine Maxwell. Combs pleaded not guilty to the 3 criminal charges that were brought against him earlier this week. A U.S. magistrate judge denied bail for Combs, granting a prosecution request for continued detention before trial, following the music mogul's arrest on Monday.
Twin giant pandas born on the 22nd of August now weighed at a healthy 1 kg each. The Berlin Zoo has announced on Thursday. Footage of the weigh-in at the zoo showed up one of the two giant pandas being taken from the incubator, wrapped in a blanket and taken to the scales. According to the panda curator, the zoo was happy with the development of the pandas. Just how adorable do they look over there? The twins remain behind the scenes as they grow, with visitors still able to view the father in his enclosure.
And a series of deadly wildfires in Portugal have overwhelmed emergency services. In the district within Portugal, flames near the village of Tipova, Montemoro, were seen racing through vegetation on Wednesday, threatening the area with an alarming speed. Authorities are confirming that much-needed reinforcements arrived on Wednesday from Spain and Morocco, offering some relief as cooler weather improved conditions to fight the flames. At least 7 people have died due to the blazes in this region. Dozens of houses have been destroyed. Tens of thousands of hectares of forest and scrubland have been consumed.
Forcing residents to clamber onto rooftops to reach safety, a storm system brought devastating floods to the North Italian region of Emilia-Romagna on Thursday for the second year in a row. The National Fire Department said that it carried out more than 500 rescue operations in the area, including some using helicopters. Even the low-pressure system named Boris has wreaked deadly havoc across Central Europe, causing the worst flooding in more than 2 decades.
And next we're taking you to a very, very exciting story, especially if you're someone who likes to go outside their houses in the nighttime, look up at the sky. We're telling you to mark your calendars for a cosmic event. It's a rare celestial encounter that's going to be taking place. A tiny space rock, an asteroid, is hurtling towards Earth as we speak. Scientists are saying it's going to do something remarkable, but they're also saying you don't need to be worried at all. Instead, it's about to become our temporary companion.
Yeah, wait for a movie to come on that one. But what is it really and how long will it stay? We'll dive into the fascinating world of asteroids and explore this extraordinary encounter. Moon, we all know, but what exactly is mini moon? Check it out.
Astronomers have recently discovered a small space rock with a diameter of about 10 meters, which is rapidly approaching Earth. Yes, it's an asteroid named 2024 PT5. But no, it is not going to hit Earth, and it is not potentially hazardous. Instead, it is so small that it will be captured by the Earth's orbit and start revolving around it, just like the moon, and become what scientists are calling a mini moon. Asteroids have fascinated us for years. These rocks, which can be almost 500 kilometers to even as small as 10 meters, have been orbiting the Sun for billions of years. Scientists believe that they are leftover rocks from when our solar system was formed billions of years ago. But sometimes these asteroids can steer off course and travel closer to Earth. Many times they just pass by, but on other occasions they can be captured by the Earth's gravity and pulled into its orbit. This is exactly what is happening now. According to scientists, this asteroid, which has been named 2024 PT5, is just a temporary flyby, almost like that of a slingshot. It's going to follow a horseshoe path and revolve around the Earth from September 29th to November 25th. Roughly about 56 days, and after that it'll gradually bid goodbye and leave the Earth's orbit and fly into space, so it's not like a permanent move. But has something like this ever happened before? Yes. Earth's gravitational pull is such that it can sometimes capture the near-Earth objects which are at very close range. Objects which have low relative velocity, small size. In fact, this asteroid is going to follow the exact same path as that of another asteroid called 2022 NX, which also became a mini moon 2 years ago. It was short-lived and remained around the Earth in 1981 also, and then in 2022. Also remember the 2006 RH120? That was another tiny asteroid whose orbit crossed the Earth's orbit, and it remained gravitationally bound to Earth for an year from 2006 July to 2007 July. Scientists are almost certain that it is not a space debris, not a space satellite debris. It is not artificial. In fact, it could be part of the asteroid belt around the Sun, which is also called the Arjuna asteroid belt. Now, this particular asteroid was discovered last month in August by NASA's ATLAS. Now, ATLAS stands for Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. Now, it has an instrument in South Africa which detected this asteroid approaching Earth. Now, NASA scans the dark sky every 24 hours to check if any asteroids are approaching Earth and then find ways to potentially avert a collision. This asteroid could possibly also return in 2055, but that's a long time. So keep your eyes on the skies for this celestial wonder.
Next, for our person of interest on the show today, we're shifting gears to spotlight an extraordinary individual who's peddling his way into people's hearts. So imagine cycling across the length of the entire country, from Kerala to Kashmir. But the catch is that your cycle doesn't have a front tire. We're going to make you meet Sanid on the show, a fearless stunt rider. He's from Kannur in Kerala, and he's on a mission to break records and break free from societal norms. We're actually showing you some of his videos on your screens already. Sanid is doing this, and he has already made it as we speak on his journey to Kurukshetra.
So we asked him to pause there for a minute, catch his breath and tell us all about it. His journey is not just about defying physics, it's about defying the odds of drug abuse as well. So it's a right for a cause there, and violence against women. So important, so the conversation right now as well. At the age of 22, Sanid already proved that determination can conquer even the toughest terrain. And with this daredevil spirit, he's inspiring a generation to take a stand against social injustices. On that note, let's welcome him on the program. Good morning, Sanid. Thank you so much for speaking with us. And like I said, we've asked you to take a pause slightly. Oh, wow, you're still in your cycling gear over there. Lovely, lovely to see you and understand more about you. Firstly, the obvious question is to understand what got you into this. I mean, Kanyakumari to Kashmir can be a sort of cyclist's dream, or you want to push your boundaries, but you're doing it without one tire.
Actually, this is my 3 years dream to do Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and this is a unique way. It's the first time in the world one person going without front tire, and I want to make India proud and to do something different. That's why I choose this ride. 3 years back, I thought this idea, then I just start 6 months back.
But Sanid, it's quite a feat. We're just showing our audiences visuals over there of what it's like when you cycle with your bike sort of off without the front wheel. How do you manage to maintain your balance for that long though?
Actually, we need a proper practice, and now also I am practicing, and I have 10 years of experience. 10 years I am doing this same thing, and I will do bike also. Like, I am a professional bike stunter. I will do bike also like this, but bike is not legal. It's illegal. Cycle is legal. That's why I choose this.
All right, some muscles you're building there over there, because it's not a mean, it's actually quite a mean feat to actually doing this for such a long distance. So tell me, have you encountered, I'm sure as the reaction we are having, you must be facing it on the road as well. People passing by must have loads to say to you. Tell me, how's the response been?
Actually, most of the people are too much excited to see me, because it's the first time they are seeing this type of thing. One person going without front tire.
Tell us, Dineer, if we can ask you a little bit, because you're telling us already about what people have reacted as, what their reactions have been every time they've seen you. But just tell us over here, how do you spread awareness around drug abuse? Because that is essentially what you're doing. There's drug abuse, and as we said earlier, violence against women. Those are the causes you're championing. How does this connect to that?
Yeah, because in our society in India, currently most of the people using drugs. That's why I choose this message, and I want to do something different and show them we don't need, if we do anything, we don't need drugs. Yeah, if you have a good mentality, we can do anything.
Okay, so Saneet seems to be a man of few words but a lot of muscles over there. So let me just end by asking you this, Saneet, that what is your final message to a lot of other enthusiasts like you who want to cycle for a cause or, you know, get on a challenge for a cause? What exactly do you have to say to them?
Actually, I will motivate myself only, because what you say, I want to do something different. That's why I choose, and daily I will work in 6 o'clock. I will wake up and do something, yogas and meditation and exercise, and increase my stamina and health.
All right, Saneet, good luck with your tour and thanks so much for speaking with us. And Toya, so many people find it difficult to cycle. I wonder what they have to say about Saneet now that he's doing it on one tire and also taking selfies, while doing it.
And across the country, that distance, the distance itself, you're right, is scary in itself. And now you've got one tire. It's a feat.
Oh gosh, okay, quite a story there. But talking about that, it's Friday. Let's bring in some Friday vibes for all our viewers. And we are here with our weekend planner that is going to give you a glimpse of what to do this weekend. It's getting a whole lot exciting because lots of stuff is coming back. Now, kick off the weekend with the latest entertainment scoop, from blockbuster movie releases to the hilarious comedy shows and live events. We can't miss love, revenge and laughter. This weekend has something for everyone.
So what are some of the things you can take a look at? Number one, there's the romantic twist. If you're in the mood for that, in Dhwani Bhanushali's Bollywood debut, you can also witness the quest for vengeance in Yudra. And for the kids and the kids at heart, Transformers 1 is bringing the epic battle between Optimus Prime and Megatron, those famous names. You can catch that too. Get your weekend entertainment guide, everything you can do with family, friends, inside the house, outside the house, right here.
Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since we last met, but we are back again right in front of you with your entertainment weekend planner, of course on TGIF here on The Breakfast Club. Let's begin with the movies up for the theatrical releases this weekend. Number 1 is Kahan Shuru Kahan Khatam, Chat Set Go. This accidental love story will surely steal your heart. Also, this is singer Dhwani Bhanushali's debut movie in Bollywood. Watch it in your nearby theatres on 20th of September. Number 2 is Yudhara. Yudhara, a young man consumed by revenge, infiltrates a powerful cartel to avenge his murdered parents. Raised by a man haunted by the same demons, he is a ticking time bomb of rage and recklessness. Watch this thriller in your nearby theatres on 20th of September as well. Number 3 is Never Let Go. It's about a family that has been haunted by an evil spirit for years. Their safety and their surroundings come into question when one of the children questions if the evil spirit is in fact real. Watch it in your nearby theatres on 20th of September as well. And number 4 is Wolves. A professional fixer is hired to cover up a high-profile crime. But when a second fixer shows up and the two lone wolves are forced to work together, they find their night spiraling out of control in ways that neither one of them expected. Watch George Clooney and Brad Pitt all tangled up in theatres on 20th of September. Number 5
is Transformers 1. Do you like animated movies? If so, then here's one that you should not miss. Titled Transformers 1, the upcoming animated sci-fi action movie tells the origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, whose bonds change the fate of their home planet, Cybertron. Now shifting gears, let's talk about the OTT releases as well. Number 1 is the Great Indian Couple Show Season 2. Well, Kapil Sharma, the famous comedian, returns with his iconic gang including Sunil Grover, Krishna Abhishek, Kiku Sharda and Archana Pudan Singh for another season of laughter and entertainment. Watch it on Netflix. Number 2 is Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. The second season of the real crime anthology series, created by Ryan Murphy and Ian Brennan, centers on the 1989 murders of Jose and Kitty Menendez by their sons Lyle and Eric. Catch it on Netflix as well. Number 3 is Jo Tera Hai, Wo Mera Hai. This comedy drama features Paresh Rawal as an elderly man tricked by Mitesh Meghani, played by Amit Sial, whose reverse mortgage plan backfires when the old man refuses to pass away. Watch this on Jio Cinema. Number 4 is Sangalan. Set during the British Raj, Vikram plays a tribal leader in a feud with a witch who helps a British general search for gold in their town. Watch it on Netflix as well. And last but not the least, let's tell you a bit more about the events that you can attend in your nearby areas. Number 1 is Rahagir, Kya Jaipur, Kya Delhi tour. If you're a fan of raw Desi voice, this is something that you will fall in love with. Rahagir is performing at multiple locations throughout the week in Delhi on 22nd of September. Number 2 is Laughter Fest with Dr. Kumar Vishwas. Well, he's performing in Delhi as well on 22nd of September. Join this to experience and enjoy the original comic poetry at its best, which is unique and of course loved by all age groups. Number 3 is Gaurav Gupta Live. Dentist turned into comedian, knows how to pull the right nerves to make you laugh with his bania jokes. Catch him performing live in Mumbai on 22nd of September as well. And that's all for this week, everyone. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Next, we bring you a special segment of financial markets powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. Let's start with markets. How are they shaping up this morning? GIFT Nifty indicates a positive start for the Indian equities. US markets were in a frenzy on Thursday and rallied on rate cuts. Asian markets, meanwhile, opened higher across countries. Crude oil prices stayed high on rate cuts, improving demand and lower inventory levels.
And next, we're taking you to sectors. The global agrochemical market seems to be gradually recovering from its earlier problems of oversupply and pricing pressure. However, weather conditions in many export markets for Indian companies remain a bit tricky. Maintaining volume share remains a priority given stiff Chinese competition. While the worst may be over for agrochem companies, green shoots aren't visible yet. You can log into Money Control Pro to find out more about agrochemical sector in general and of course various other actionable insights on the markets. It is the premier destination for all investing views and financial insights that you're ever going to need, brought to you of course by Money Control.
On that note, we're going to call it a wrap on this today's episode and this week's episode as well. Clearly, lots to think about as we go into the weekend. Lots to think about your downtime as well.
Have a good weekend. Goodbye.
At L'Oréal Group,
with you when you are in an alliance with NC that has promised to come back or return to Article 370.
One second.
What is the Congress position is very important. You release your manifesto on last day of campaigning. Still, nobody knows if you will continue your support. as far as NC is concerned, when it comes to the promise of returning to Article 370, there's been no talk about that. There's been no condemnation. This when Rahul Gandhi himself said that, they do not approve of the kind of terror that is emanating from Pakistan. And so what is your position when it comes to trade and dialogue with Pakistan, something that's been endorsed in the NC manifesto?
Our position is one, that the BJP gives us Pegasus for a day so that we can tell who, gives a direction from here, and it gets followed in Pakistan by the top leadership, by the ministers. Number two, we all remember the Pakistan frame that the BJP has when Mr. Modi went to Pakistan, hugged Nawaz Sharif, the then Prime Minister, had Kashmiri chai with him, had biryani with him, broke the protocols, sat in his chopper. The very
Ashpreet, you have still not answered the question. You are harping back to what happened in the past. Two wrongs will not make a right.
Nobody is saying that. I'm answering a question. It has nothing to do with us. It's not in our manifesto. We haven't said it. However, the BJP...
But you are in alliance with NC. Rohan Gupta, please go ahead.
The BJP had terrorists in their party.
Okay, what about giving tickets to terrorists? Rohan Gupta.
A very simple question to Congress spokesperson, and he's not answering the question because he doesn't know the answer. See, the question is very, very simple. When you are in triple alliance with somebody and they declare the manifesto, either you have to say you are with them or you are not with them. You cannot be everywhere. They are very, very clear. NC's manifesto has been very clear. They want separate flag. They will return Article 370. They want trade with Pakistan. They want talks with Pakistan. The question is very simple, whether Congress party endorses these views or not. If not, then why they are in triple alliance? Number two, now Pakistan has also endorsed this view. So does that mean that our enemy Pakistan, don't speak in between. I never spoke in between, right? So does that mean that if Pakistan stands, if Pakistan wants return of 370, do you feel that is good for the country? I think it's a big question to a national party. It's not only about Jammu and Kashmir. It's a repercussion. Since Congress is the national party, the repercussion is all across the country. You cannot just play around in between. Not here, not there. You should
Nasir
be very
Lone,
clear.
I'd like to bring you in. Okay, let me also bring
in
in the National Conference spokesperson, Nasir Lone. Nasir, I'm sure such a pre-poll alliance wouldn't have happened without support from the Congress party. NC is very clear that there is support coming in. What has given the Pak Defence Minister the kind of confidence to say so that they are on the same page as Pakistan today if the Congress was not, if actively and verbally but silently supporting your manifesto?
My first and foremost, good evening to everyone first of all. My first and foremost question to all of you is what is the problem with Article 370? Article 370 was given by Indian Constitution. It was way within the ambit of the Indian Constitution. It was the link that joined the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir with the Union of India. What is the problem?
I'll tell you what the problem is. You tried to pass a resolution in the year 2000 to restore the status of Jammu and Kashmir prior to what it was before 1953. That resolution failed. It completely bombed, and once it's already bombed, why would you bring a false promise to the people of Jammu and Kashmir?
It is something. It is
that happened during Farooq Abdullah's time as well, and you don't seem to have learnt your lesson.
Okay, it is not a false promise. It's absolutely that we believe in. It is what we consider as the right of every citizen of Jammu and Kashmir. It is something that was promised to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. It was something that was given by the Parliament of India to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. So we see no wrong in asking for our own right. Two, the abrogation of Article 370 was done in absence of any elected government, any elected representative, any elected member from the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. So, and coming back to what the BJP spokesperson was saying about Congress, they should actually ask themselves when they made an alliance with the PDP in 2014, what was PDP's manifesto? Were they against Article 370? No. They talked about self-rule. They endorsed the 370. They spoke about talking with Pakistan. They spoke about trade with Pakistan. Why did the BJP form the government with them? Why was
I'm sure Rohan Gupta, you'd like to respond to that. That's a very valid question being posed by Nasir Lone.
Absolutely. Akanksha, I don't shy.
Good
good morning viewers. Hello and welcome to the morning news show. Today on our show we are diving into a brewing controversy that's resonating with millions of devotees and has now raised questions, serious questions about the integrity and accountability in religious practices. Well, TDP has accused the YSR Congress government of using adulterated ingredients in the famous Tirupati Laddu, claiming test reports show the presence of beef fat, fish oil and other animal fats. Union Minister Ram Mohan Naidu, in an exclusive conversation with CNN News 18, has called for accountability, while YSR CP remains silent after the TDP presented evidence report regarding the adulteration in the prasadam. Now, Ram Mohan Naidu has further described the allegations as outrageous and demanded a probe in the entire matter. The BJP has also launched a scathing attack calling for an immediate investigation. Meanwhile, the State Vigilance Department is investigating a separate scam worth rupees 500 crores involving the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, issuing notices to ex-TDT chairman Y.V. Subba Reddy and other members of the TDT for alleged corruption charges.
Kadana Tirumala Ladu Guda Nasi Rakam Nakaite Acharya Vestundi Enni complaint chesina Kadana Venkateswara Swami Pavitratanu debadisyaru. ఎన్నోసార్లు చెప్పాం. అక్కడ ఎంత దుర్మార్గంగా ప్రయత్నం చేశారంటే అంత దుర్మార్గంగా ప్రవర్తించారు. కడాన అన్న దానంలో క్వాలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఫుడ్ లేకుండా చేశారు. దేవుని దగ్గర పెట్టే ప్రసాదం అపవిత్రం చేసే విధంగా ఓసారి బాధేస్తుంది. నాసి రకమైన ఇంగ్రీడియంట్సే కాకుండా ఎనిమల్ ఫ్యాట్ కూడా వాడారని, ఏది గీకు బదులు. ఈరోజు స్వచ్ఛమైన గీదెమన్నాం, ప్రక్షాళన చేయమన్నాం. నాణ్యత పెరిగింది, ఇంకా కూడా నాణ్యత పెంచుతాం. అల్టిమేట్గా వెంకటేశ్వర స్వామి మన రాష్ట్రంలో ఉండడం మనందరి అదృష్టం. ప్రపంచం అంతా మన దగ్గరికి వచ్చే పరిస్థితికి వచ్చారు. అలాంటప్పుడు వెంకటేశ్వర స్వామి పవిత్రతను కాపాడుకోవాల్సిన బాధ్యత మనందరిపైన ఉంది. ఇది కూడా చేస్తామని చెప్పి కూడా నేను మీకు తెలియజేస్తున్నా.
Yesterday, our Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has commented baseless allegations. If he has any proof, let him come and prove. Otherwise, I am ready to go and take oath before Lord Venkateshwara. During that 5 years of our governance, nothing has happened like what he has commented.
Ramon, even if we want to speak about the 100 days development, but what has come to the fore is a very, very disturbing incident that we've seen pan out in Andhra Pradesh. Tirupati Devasthanam board, which is said to be very, very important and very, very spiritual as far as the country is concerned. The controversy around the adulteration of the laddus, animal fat being used. What do you have to really say, even though the YSR Congress is saying that they have, they are saying that this is political vendetta of the.
No, first of all, I don't think they have any right to speak in this issue. It is outrageous and it is equally shocking. For a temple of such great importance. Tirupati is not just a mere temple just like any other temple. It is the highest visited Hindu temple in the whole world, with people up to 2 and 3 lakhs also visiting per day, and a temple which has such strong significance and which has always a pride for people of Andhra also, that there are people coming from Hindus coming from across the country and across the world. And I have to also be honest and say that there are people of multiple faiths also coming, and they have so much vishwas on Lord Balaji that they come. And one of the important factors when they come and visit Balaji is that they take away from them. One is the blessings of Lord Balaji, and the takeaway from the temple is the laddu itself. And to manipulate that whole thing and to adulterate that laddu itself, I don't think anyone in their dreams also would imagine to do it, but that has become a reality today, and it is very, very shocking, and I think it has to be probed further, and the people who have succumbed to this have to face the law.
Well, joining us live is our colleague Swastika from ground. A very good morning, Swastika. Well, this is a story that has deeply shaken the faith of countless Hindus. Let's first talk about the entire Laddu controversy. What has been the reaction from the public and the devotees regarding these allegations?
Well, Kuhina, I'm joining you right from the temple town. This is the most revered Hindu temple which is sadly mired in controversy right now over the famous Ladu Prasadam that it is known for. You asked me what is the consensus among devotees. Yesterday, this story in fact sent a floodgates of reactions from devotees, not just from India but around the world, because like I mentioned, this is the most highly visited pilgrim sites. In fact, people come here, queue up, plan for months to visit here in Tirumala, and whenever someone comes here, the Laddu Prasadam is what they take away with and then distribute it to their near and dear ones. So everybody in a state of shock, definitely, considering that the report that the TDP has released and the report that has been filed by National Dairy Development Board, which says that there is complete adulteration in the ghee that was used. Adulteration not in the form of vanaspati or soybean oil or palm oil, but it is something that was mixed with animal fat, and animal fat like beef and even lard, which is from pigs, and fish oil. So this definitely raises a lot of questions, and more importantly hurts the religious sentiments to an extent that's perhaps unimaginable. So what's coming next after this? The Vigilance Department, remember, has registered a case against the former TTD, Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam board members, including Chairman Y.V. Subba Reddy, then Executive Officer Dharma Reddy, and even former Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy. So they definitely have a lot of questions to answer, considering that there has not been much of a defense that has come in from the YSRCP side ever since the report came to the fore.
Right, Swastika, help us also understand and go through all the insights on the simultaneously ongoing investigation by the State Vigilance Department regarding the separate 500 crore scam involving the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam.
Well, it seems that the rot runs deeper, and definitely since the change of power, Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has time and again vowed to sanitize the hill shrine. Now, the vigilance team that we are talking about initiated an inquiry 2 months ago, where they in fact conducted audits and went through the reports, where they have now found and stated that there is complete, perhaps a corruption. They suspect corruption to the tune of 500 crores, mainly in the engineering department. This is definitely at the initial stage of the investigation, but the report has been already submitted to the Chief Minister's office, and this comes in the backdrop of this Ladu controversy, and the entire focus right now is on the quality of Ladu. So I also want to sort of elucidate on what exactly are the allegations. Number one, not only were animal fat mixed as per the National Dairy Development Report that has been released by the TDP, they've also said that the trucks that had come in, regular checks were not done, as in lab tests were not done. Each and every, as per the theory, each and every ingredient that's used in the making of Anna Prasadam and as well as Laddus are supposed to be checked. Now the current TTD administration says that none of these processes were followed, and that's the reason why when there has been a change, when there was a change in power and a new board was constituted, on the 17th itself they had initiated a sample check, and these samples were sent to the National Dairy Development Board, which was based in Gujarat, and on the 23rd is when this report came out, and that report said that adulteration to an extent of animal fat is something that was highlighted. Traces of it was also found in the samples that were collected. Now, which samples are these? The company in question is Tamil Nadu based AR Dairy Foods Private Limited. This is the company which is now having all the headlines as per the TTD official also. This is the company which sent the adulterated batches of ghee and vanaspati, and based on their samples they conducted the test, and then the National Dairy Development Board's report came out.
Right, Swastika, I'll request you to stay with us on broadcast, as this controversy is clearly brewing into a bigger political showdown. Now we're getting another breaking input, which is also relevant to this entire controversy brewing on the ground after TDP has cited reports saying there is animal fat used in the Tirumala Prasadam. Shyamala Rao, Executive Officer of Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanams, has refused to speak on the entire issue. So these are latest inputs we are tracking from the ground. Now, Swastika continues to stay with us on the ground and she is joining us live from Tirupati, from outside Tirupati. Now, Swastika, help us also understand, Shyamala Rao has refused to comment on these allegations. Now, what accountability measures should now be taken or implemented to ensure transparency in such kind of religious offerings?
Well, one thing that I want to put on record is the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam board has been changed and it is always under the aegis of the state government. The former board, which was under Jagan Mohan Reddy, resigned and they had to. So the new board was constituted by Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu. TTD as of now doesn't have a chairman, but Shyamala Rao effectively is the executive officer, which is, as in he is the one who is the head of the entire administration effectively on paper. Him not answering the question comes in the backdrop of the TTD somehow deciding to stay away from it, considering that the state government representatives have been speaking about the adulteration bit. We are expecting perhaps the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam board also to add in its inputs, but it was Shyamala Rao, remember, on the 23rd of July who had given a press conference and mentioned that back during Jagan Mohan Reddy's regime, there were 5 ghee brands that were supplying ghee to the temple for the purpose of making laddus and other prasadam, and one of the brands in fact had been blacklisted. The brand that was blacklisted is AR Foods Dairy Limited. That was blacklisted because Shyamala Rao then on a PC on the 23rd of July had said that Vanaspati vegetable fat and not pure ghee was being supplied to the temple. Of course, that matter has now escalated to another level where further sample collections and tests done by the National Dairy Development Board have now ascertained and proved that there are traces of animal fat, beef as well as fish oil and lard that have been found in the samples that were collected on the 17th of July, and then the report of it came out on the 23rd. So we are expecting perhaps the TTD also to break its silence and throw its perspective on the matter.
Right, Swastika, I'll request you to stay with us on broadcast. As joining us on the broadcast is Vinod Bansal of VHP. A very good morning, Mr. Bansal, and thank you so much for joining us on CNN News 18. Well, help us understand, how do you respond to the calls for an investigation into the entire fiasco that is unfolding on ground, especially pertinent to the devotees' sentiment that are getting hurt?
Definitely. The thing is that the proper investigation, we need that the high-level judicial inquiry must be conducted to nab these culprits who have been involved in hurting the sentiment of the Hindus globally. This is a very serious issue, and the issue raised by the none other than the Chief Minister of the state is so serious that the thorough investigation and the culprit must be booked in and the severe punishment must be given to all those persons. You see, the Tirupati Balaji is the mandir which is having the largest devotee in the world and has the largest donations poured into the exchequer of the government also. The thing is that now it is the time to free up the temples from the government clutches actually. The VHPs personally demanding on this issue since ages that the temples management must be conducted by the devotees only. How a so-called secular government can do this communal type of work actually, and controlling the temples and its money and the devotees, the deities, the charaba. The question is that why they are not going to catch up the masjids and mazars and the churches and all who are exploiting the exchequer of the country. But on the second line, question is that why the temples are being captured by such type of anti-Hindu or the anti-Hindu mindset actually. आप मंदिर का पैसा लेकर के, भगवान का पैसा लेकर के और आप क्रिश्चियन मिशनरीज के ऊपर, इस्लामिक जिहादियों के ऊपर खर्च कर रहे हो और जो सो कॉल्ड सेकुलर काम में खर्च कर रहे हो, मंदिर का काम मंदिर के लिए प्रयोग होना चाहिए, भक्तों के लिए प्रयोग होना चाहिए, धर्मांतरण को रोकने के लिए होना चाहिए, धर्म प्रसार के लिए होना चाहिए, भक्तों के कल्याण के लिए होना चाहिए। और यहाँ तो बड़ा बेहद दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण बात आ गई कि जिस गौ माता को हम पूजते हैं उनका मांस, उनका मज्जा और ये जो इस तरह की मछली का तेल भगवान के प्रसाद में, कमाल हो गया।
विनोद बंसल जी, ये बहुत बड़ी एलिगेशंस हैं जो अभी आप लेवल कर रहे हैं, बट ऐसा कहा जा रहा है कि जो घी सप्लायर है उनका क्लेम है कि जितनी भी रिपोर्ट्स आई हैं वो अनफाउंडेड हैं एंड दे आर 100% यूजिंग काउ मिल्क। व्हाट इज योर स्टैंड ऑन दिस?
No, the question is that we have demanded that a thorough investigation must be done by the judiciary. I mean, I can say that high-level judicial inquiry must be conducted, and whosoever is the culprit, he must be booked. और आप देखिए कि ये सिंपल क्राइम नहीं है. It should not be taken at granted कि भाई सिंपल जो किसी खाने में मिलावट वाला मामला है. ये सीधा सीधा हिंदू समाज की भावनाओं को आहत करने वाला है. आप देखिए तिरुपति बालाजी का मंदिर में सिर्फ प्रसाद नहीं लगता, ये वही लड्डू बन करके तिरुपति बालाजी के दुनिया भर में जितने भी मंदिर है वहां भी जाता है. और आप देखिए वही लड्डू सब जगह बांटा जाता है. और उस लड्डू के अंदर इस तरह का आरोप लगाना, कोई देखिए कोई भी कुछ भी कहता रहे. मैं कहता हूँ एक राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री ने, उसी राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री ने इस बात का रहस्योद्घाटन किया है, तो क्वेश्चन कहाँ रह गया भाई. लेकिन फिर भी वी डिमांड that high level judicial inquiry must be conducted immediately and the culprit must be booked. वो भागने ना पाए किसी तरह से, और इस तरह का कोई भी दुराचार, दुर्व्यवहार किसी तरह का किसी और मंदिर में ना होने पाए, इसकी पुख्ता व्यवस्था करनी पड़ेगी सरकारों को. और साथ ही साथ मंदिरों को अपने कब्जे से मुक्त करना पड़ेगा. अब समय आ गया, हम दशकों से इस बात को मांग कर रहे हैं कि मंदिर आखिरकार सरकार के कब्जे में क्यों होने चाहिए. जब आप सीधा सीधा जो चर्च को नहीं कब्जा कर सकते, आप मस्जिद और मदरसों के ऊपर कुछ नहीं कर सकते, हमारे मंदिरों के ऊपर कब्जा जमा के क्यों बैठे हो भाई. ये जो इस तरह की चीजें हैं बार बार कई बार देखी गई हैं कि अनास्थावान लोगों को मंदिर के प्रबंधन में बैठा दिया जाता है, उनके मैनेजमेंट में बैठा दिया जाता है, उनके स्टाफ में बैठा दिया जाता है. और कई बार इस तरह को हमने पॉइंट आउट भी किया है. इवन कई जगह तो क्रिश्चियन को वहां पर चर्च का मंदिर का चेयरमैन बना दिया.
जी विनोद जी,
देवस्थानम मंदिर जो है वो एक पवित्रता के लिए, आस्था के लिए जाना जाता है. और इतने बड़ी संख्या में दुनिया भर के भक्त आते हैं.
जी विनोद,
भावनाओं को जिस तरह से कुठाराघात किया गया है, ये अक्षम्य अपराध है.
ठीक है विनोद जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए. वेल दैट वाज VHP's विनोद बंसल नाउ रिक्वेस्टिंग फॉर immediate investigation into the matter and proper case to be registered against the culprits in the entire scenario. But now we are cutting across to another breaking input relevant to the same subject. This time we are getting a reaction. We are all deeply disturbed with the findings of animal fat, fish oil, pork fat and beef fat mixed in Tirupati Balaji Prasad. Many questions are to be answered by the TDD board constituted by YCP government. Then our government is committed to take stringent action possible, but this throws light on many issues surrounding discretion of temples, its land issues and other dharmic practices. Many be the time has become to constitute a Sanatan Dharma Raksha board at a national level to look into all the issues related to temples in the entire Bharat. Now, a debate has to happen at national level by all the policy makers, religious heads, judiciary, citizens, media and all other in their respective domains. I think we all should come together to put an end to this discretion of Sanatan Dharam in any form. So this is a reaction we've been tracking from Andhra Pradesh Deputy CM Pavan Kalan, who has now reacted to the entire fiasco, suggesting that I think we all should come together to put an end to the discretion of Sanatan Dharam in any form. He's levelled further allegations against, and he's requested all the policy makers, religious heads, judiciary, citizens and media, all other to come together from their respective domains and hold a proper debate. Now, Swastika Das continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Swastika, we get